A vector search index that returns answers in 5 milliseconds on 10,000 documents can take 3 full seconds or run out of memory entirely on 10 million. The naive answer is to throw a bigger machine at it. The correct answer is an architecture. Brute force similarity is an O of n times d operation, and at scale, that math destroys you. So let us build the system that survives. Every vector search starts the same way. You embed your documents, store the vectors, and compute cosine similarity against a query. With a few thousand vectors, this is trivial, a single matrix multiply. But each query is a linear scan, n vectors times d dimensions, every single time. At 1,768 dimensional vectors, that is over 700 million floating point operations per query. Multiply by your QPS and the cliff appears. Here is the brute force baseline in code, so we are honest about the problem. We compute dot products between the query and every stored vector, then take the top k. It is exact, perfect recall. But notice the shape. This scales linearly with corpus size, and there is no way around that with exact search. The entire field of approximate nearest neighbor exists to trade a sliver of recall for orders of magnitude in speed. Approximate nearest neighbor, or ANN, changes the game. Instead of scanning everything, we build an index that lets us skip the vast majority of vectors and still find the true neighbors most of the time. The key metric is recall at k. What fraction of the true top k did we actually return? The whole discipline is tuning the latency, recall, and memory triangle. You can be fast and accurate, but memory hungry, or cheap and fast but lossy. There is no free lunch. The dominant index today is HNSW, Hierarchical Navigable Small World Graphs. Picture a multi-layer graph. The top layer has a few nodes with long-range links, like express highways. Lower layers get denser, like local roads. A search starts at the top, greedily hops toward the query, then drops a layer and refines. You navigate from continent to city to street in logarithmic time. This is why HNSW gives sub-millisecond search at high recall. But the graph itself lives in RAM, and that is its Achilles heel. Let us build one with FAISS. The two parameters that matter most are M, the number of connections per node, and F construction, which controls graph quality during build. Higher M means better recall but more memory and slower builds. At query time, EF search trades latency for recall directly. Notice we set EF search separately. That is your runtime tuning knob in production. Build once with high quality, then tune EF search per request based on SLA. Here is the brutal arithmetic. 10 million vectors at 768 dimensions in float32 is over 30 gigabytes of raw vectors alone. Add the HNSW graph overhead. Roughly M times 8 bytes per node. And you are pushing 50 gigabytes that must live in RAM for low latency. That is an expensive instance, and it does not scale linearly to 100 million. This single constraint is what forces every production decision that follows: compression and sharding. Enter product quantization, or PQ. The idea is elegant. Split each 768 dimensional vector into M subvectors. Then run K means on each subspace to learn a codebook of, say, 256 centroids. Now each subvector is stored as a single byte, the index of its nearest centroid. A 768 dim float 32 vector that took 3000 bytes now fits in maybe 64 bytes. That is a 30 to 50-fold compression. You lose some precision, but combined with HNSW, you keep recall surprisingly high. In production at very large scale, you often combine an inverted file index with PQ, that is IVF-PQ. IVF first clusters the space into Analyst cost cells. So a query only scans n-probe nearby cells instead of everything. PQ then compresses the vectors inside. Here we train it on a sample, then add all vectors. The nprobe parameter is your runtime recall knob, exactly like EF search was for HNSW. This is the workhorse for 100 million scale corpora. So, when do you reach for which? HNSW gives the best recall latency curve and is forgiving, but its graph is memory hungry and rebuilds are painful. IVF-PQ compresses aggressively and scales to hundreds of millions on commodity RAM, but tuning nlist and mprobe is finicky, and recall is lower at the same memory. A common production pattern is HNSW on the coarse quantizer of an IVF-PQ. Best of both. Graph-based cell selection plus compressed storage. A single node has limits. Sharding splits your corpus across machines, so each holds a slice. There are two philosophies. Random sharding spreads vectors evenly. Every query fans out to all shards and you merge results. Semantic sharding clusters similar vectors together, so a query hits only the relevant shards. Less fan out, but risk of missing neighbors at cluster boundaries. Most production systems start with random sharding and scatter gather because it is predictable and recall is preserved. Here is a scatter gather router. We query every shard concurrently with asyncio, each returning its local top k. Then we merge and take the global top k. The critical detail is the overfetch. Each shard returns more than k because the global winners might cluster in one shard. Notice we gather with a timeout. In production, a slow shard must not block the whole response. Tail latency is dominated by your slowest shard, so timeouts and partial results matter. Sharding handles capacity, replication handles availability, and read throughput. Each shard gets 2 or 3 replicas behind a load balancer. If a shard replica dies mid-query, the router retries against a sibling. Replicas also let you serve more QPS by spreading reads. The trade-off is write amplification. Every upsert must propagate to all replicas. For mostly read-rag workloads, this is fine. For high write churn, you need an async replication log. You can build all this yourself or use a purpose-built vector database like Qdrant, VV8 or Milvus that handles sharding, replication, and HNSW internally. Here we configure a Qdrant collection with HNSW parameters, scalar quantization for memory savings, and on-disk payload. The point of using managed infrastructure is that the hard distributed systems problems, consistency, rebalancing, snapshots, are solved. You spend your energy on retrieval quality instead. Real queries are rarely pure semantic search. You filter by tenant, language, date, or permissions. The naive approach, search, then filter, breaks badly. If your filter is selective, you might fetch top 100 and have 0 survive. The right approach is filtered A and N, where the graph traversal itself respects the filter. Qdrant and others build payload indexes, so the HNSW walk skips non-matching nodes. Here we pass a filter directly into the search call. Dense vectors capture semantics but miss exact keyword matches. Product codes, names, rare jargon. Sparse retrieval like BM25 or splayed nails those. Hybrid search runs both and fuses the scores, typically with reciprocal rank fusion. RRF is beautiful because it ignores raw score scales. It just combines ranks. At scale, this measurably lifts recall on queries that pure dense search fumbles. Here is the fusion in a few lines. The highest quality production pipelines are two-stage. Stage 1 is fast and cheap. ANN retrieves a generous candidate set, say the top 100. Stage 2 is slow and precise. A cross-encoder re-ranker scores each query document pair jointly and reorders. The cross-encoder is far too expensive to run over millions, but over 100 candidates it is trivial, and it dramatically improves the final top 10. This is how you get both scale and quality. Here is the re-ranker stage with a cross-encoder. We take the candidates from A and N, pair each document with the query, and score them in a single batched forward pass. Then we sort and keep the top K. The batching is what makes this fast. 100 pairs through a small cross-encoder is a few milliseconds on GPU. Notice we only re-rank the candidate set, never the full corpus. That separation of concerns is the whole trick. Indexes are not static. Documents get added, updated, deleted. HNSW supports incremental adds but deletes only tombstone the node. The graph degrades over time, and recall drifts down. The production answer is periodic background rebuilds. Build a fresh index from scratch on a separate worker, validate its recall against a golden query set, then atomically swap it behind the router. Never rebuild in the serving path. This blue-green index swap keeps you online with zero downtime. You cannot fix what you cannot see. The hard part of production vector search is that recall degrades silently. Latency stays green while answer quality rots. So you maintain a golden set of queries with known ground truth neighbors computed by brute force offline. A scheduled job runs them against the live index and emits recall at 10 as a metric. Alert when it drops below your threshold. This script logs the recall you would otherwise never notice. Let us assemble everything. A query hits the router, which fans out to sharded replicas running HNSW or IVF-PQ indexes. Each shard does filtered ANN and returns candidates. The router merges, runs hybrid fusion with sparse results. Then a re-ranker produces the final top 10. In parallel, a background pipeline rebuilds indexes, and a monitoring job tracks recall. Every component we built maps to a box here. This is what scaling vector search to millions actually looks like. One final reality: every choice is a cost lever. Quantization cuts your RAM bill in half, but costs a few points of recall. More replicas raise availability and QPS, but multiply spend. A re-ranker boosts quality, but adds GPU latency. There is no universally correct architecture. Only the one that fits your recall, SLA, your QPS, and your budget. Measure first, then tune. The triangle from the start is the whole game. So here are the 3 things to take away. 1. At scale, brute force dies. You trade a little recall for huge speedups using ANN indexes like HNSW and IVF-PQ. 2. Production means architecture, not a bigger box. Sharding, replication, quantization, and zero downtime rebuilds. 3. Quality comes from layering. Hybrid retrieval plus a 2-stage re-rank, watched by continuous recall monitoring. Next, in the AI track, we build a full production RAG pipeline on top of exactly this retrieval layer, including chunking and context assembly. Subscribe so you do not miss it, and drop a comment with the nastiest scaling problem you have hit. Recall collapse, memory blowups, or tail latency. I will tackle the top ones in a follow-up.